welcome to Mock the Week. I'm Dara Breen. Joining this week are Andy Parsons, Catherine Ryan and Ed Gamble, Milton Jones, Hugh Dennis and Josh Widdicombe. We started a round called Picture of the Week. I showed the panel a topical image and asked me to tell me what's happening. So here's a picture of the four Labour leadership hopefuls. What's going on here?
Is it AshleyMadison.com relaunches with hip new image?
Is it a new band called No Direction?
Yeah.
Is it a game of shag, marry, avoid, help across the road?
It's the photographer saying, could everyone with dark hair please smile like a murderer?
Is it a charity appeal? Like, for £3 a month, you could buy these deluded fools fresh water and false hope.
Is Yvette Cooper saying, no, I'm sorry, I haven't got any change?
I think the helicopter that takes them away is going to be too small if it has to land on that H.
Maybe it's the steps reformed and H couldn't turn up, so they just put him on the side.
This is a photograph of two sisters and their brother, but when they came to develop it, there was actually an image of their long-dead grandfather.
Interestingly, Corbyn is on the far right there, which is the last time we'll ever say that.
This is Liz Kendall, Andy Burnham, Yvette Cooper and Jeremy Corbyn, who have all been campaigning to become Labour's next leader, the result of which will be announced on Saturday, and thus end this, please. This 3-month-long, it feels like we've been doing this since Corbyn was young.
I'll tell you what it looks like. It looks like Jack Whitehall in about 50 years' time.
They're calling it Corbyn Mania, but you can't just put mania at the end of a word and think that it means something. Like Beatlemania, that was when they played to 55,000 people in Shea Stadium. Corbyn Mania is 1,100 bored pensioners in Norfolk.
He's rebelled, hasn't he, against the Labour leadership 500 times, over 500 times. You're thinking if he does become Labour leader, there must be a very good chance if somebody votes against the Labour leadership, it is, in fact, going to be him.
I think the chief whip will be going to his own party leader and could you please vote with the party once, right? The rest of you.
They say he's left wing, but he's got a size 10 feet, which is a massive Corbyn footprint.
People are just ganging up on him, though. So I think what people are underestimating is the fact that the British public love an underdog. So if we could, we would vote for the Jamaican bobsleigh team. So Jeremy Corbyn is going to be no problem.
Well, that's what Alistair Campbell said, wasn't it? That he's the Susan Boyle of the situation. But that's A, unfair on Susan Boyle. She had very different views on Trident. And B, like, she had a lot tougher opposition. He would lose to Pudsey the dog. If you went...
Isn't Pudsey a bear?
Get your finger on the pulse, Grandad.
I like children.
Pudsey became a dog in 2012.
It's not an insult to call someone Susan Boyle, either, because she surprised everyone by being excellent at her job. So that's just
I think the reason he's winning isn't because he's good, it's because the opposition is so boring. Andy Burnham looks like... Have you ever edited yourself as a football player on Pro Evolution Soccer?
Yeah.
You know the bass player you start with? That's just the most generic human in the world. That's Andy Burnham. He looks like someone who'd get to the 6th week of The Apprentice because you hadn't noticed him.
And I spent all those weeks really dreading the one where we have to interview Andy Burnham for half an hour.
And he'd become team leader and get kilograms and ounces mixed up, and that'd be it.
So, Andy, did you enjoy the process?
I think when he loses, he should get a wheelie suitcase and walk out.
Andy Burnham was also very popular with the right wing, wasn't he? Until they realised it was just his surname and not his policy on immigration.
By the way, I want to thank whoever from the production company who left the disc-free Philips Monitor user's manual on my desk for me to see during the show. It's really handy. I'll upload that as the show proceeds. Genuinely, it's in 2 languages, in Japanese as well. Oh, it comes with the monitor drivers and the smart control software. Lovely. Ching ching.
Does that mean that we've recorded none of this so far?
Okay, in other news, what has Bob Geldof offered to do this week?
Well, he's offered to have refugees stay in his homes.
If you stay with Geldof, do you have to be polite about his music? Because if I was, like, a refugee and I moved in with Bob Geldof and then the first morning he came down and said, I've written a new song, I'd say, I'll take my chances in Calais.
It's going to make Geldof easier to gas on through the keyhole, isn't it?
Imagine living with Geldof and you sort of cut yourself. The next thing is a massive rock concert in the back garden. You go, no, when I said Band-Aid...
And others have also joined in this and offered their homes. I mean, it's happening a lot across the country.
Nicola Sturgeon has offered, hasn't
Yes, she has, yeah.
Yvette Cooper has offered, but she's very good with the downtrodden. She already has an unemployed man living in her house.
The thing is, the people from Syria, aren't they? They're basically desperate,
Yes.
and then they're trying to improve their chances by turning up in Greece. I mean, that's like trying to improve your IQ by watching ITV2, isn't it? You're wondering how many of the Greeks are actually going to try and get into Germany by pretending to be Syrians.
It does. The whole thing has pointed out how much better the European train system is, doesn't it? You can get a train. You can go Montenegro.
That's the
Serbia,
main lesson.
Hungary. No, it's
I
not.
think we've all taken.
It's not the main lesson.
The
It's not the main lesson at all. But you can get to Munich in a couple of days. Over here, you would have reporters on the scene going, "These migrants cannot understand that you can't use an off-peak saver ticket to get to Waterloo."
Well, you know, congratulations to the Germans, but I'm going to say it. Historically, I've never forgiven them. No. Do you remember Frank Lampard's goal in the 2010 World Cup? That was way over the line. What? No way is this outweigh that.
You mean 800,000...
No wonder they're trying to be the good guys of Europe.
You think this whole... taking in 800,000 refugees...
It would have made it 2-2, Dara!
Maybe that's it. Maybe that's it, Josh. The Germany's getting World Cup points for each Syrian that they let in. I've already got a $5 on a German Syrian to win Eurovision. I just like the narrative.
There is an element to which, like, Germany won the World Cup and the team was partly Turkish as well. Like, whatever. This thing does work in sport. Mo Farah, anyone? You know? Because, you know, there is another, you know, migrant came over here. Like, they will boast your sporting chances, lads.
Mo Farah is a Somalian who acquires gold on land. Nothing I don't like about him.
I never thought I'd say this, but part of me wishes Hitler was still alive.
Wow, this is... Let's just savour the moment of build-up here. I want to know what's
That's why they're going to edit that.
So that's the end of that round.
No, because imagine his face. How livid he'd be. This is the ultimate victory over Hitler.
Oh, see what you mean, sorry. So not that Hitler is alive and still in charge of the Third Reich, but that Hitler is in a retirement home somewhere going, Dumpfkoffen, shuffling on while his Turkish nurse goes, Adolf, sit down.
We've gone a long way.
Yeah.
That was a long journey for me to set you up for your trademark impression, wasn't
Thank you very much. Always happy to throw in my little old man Hitler. Was sagst du?
You can meet a Mexican at the same time. What? Hitler meets a Mexican.
I can do that dialect. No. Was ist das? Yeah, there is the one I'm intrigued by is that everyone's coming north rather than they're in the middle of the Middle East. I mean, the questions, fingers have been pointed at rich Middle East countries going, why aren't they? They're taking no one at all, right? And you got to go, well, you know, the United Arab Emirates can't because they spent all their money on Raheem Sterling.
Lebanon's got 1.2 million and Jordan's got 1 million.
Excuse me, by which...
Not that Jordan. Obviously, that would be a hell of an episode of what Katie did next.
She has the land, for God's sake.
Yeah.
They could ride horses.
I'm meant to be at a photo shoot, but I've got 1.2 million migrants in my stable block.
Yes. Oh, my God. Hilariously, my monitor just stopped working. If only we had the instruction disc for a monitor. the end of that round. The points go to Josh Hugh and Milton. Now we play a round called My Mock Shake Brings All the Boys to the Yard. This game involves Milton Jones and Ed Gamble, so if you could make your way to the performance area, please. This round is a stand-up challenge. I launched a wheel of news, and wherever it chooses to stop, one of our performers must step forward and talk about that topic. OK, here we go. The first subject, please. And the first topic is relationships. Ed.
So I've just moved in with my girlfriend. Thanks. Yeah, thanks. Cheers, thanks for the support, Mum. That's good of you. It's good, it's exciting. The first time I've lived with a girl. Obviously, we're finding out a lot more about each other that we didn't know before. What I found out about her is she's kinder, funnier, more sensitive than I ever realised. What we've both found out about me is I am a terrible, terrible prick and so difficult to live with. Because it turns out I am a tidy person. I didn't realise. I thought I was normal. But apparently, it is not normal to have a favourite J-cloth. She is a messy, messy lady. She is unbelievable. She's laid back, no worries. She says that a lot. No, who has no worries? Are you dead? Are you a robot? What's wrong with you? You should wake up, worry, go to bed. That is a full day as far as I'm concerned. She genuinely said this out loud the other day. Hakuna Matata. And I'm starting to think the actual Swahili translation of that is doesn't hoover. Because there is underwear everywhere. This is an odd side effect of living with a girl that I did not fully anticipate. I no longer find women's underwear sexually titillating in any way whatsoever. Because I used to be able to just see underwear and that was enough to get me excited. Didn't have to be a woman in it. Just be a bra on the floor and I'd go, ooh, boobs were there. That's... It's enough. Now, nothing like that. I see a pair of knickers now, it's just something the remote control might be under.
Well done, Obama. Very good. That leaves us with Milton. Let's see what you've been left with. Let's spin the wheel. And the topic is medicine.
I have to go to the chemist soon to collect my prescription. Not from PC World like last time. Those tablets were very difficult to swallow. Recently, I went to the chiropractors, or as they call them in the capital of Egypt, the practors. Well, I put my back out trying to shoot horses, but it turns out the World Health Organization aren't trying to eradicate polo. My dad was a doctor, my mum was a nurse. They had 6 children. We all left home early. Well, they needed the beds. I remember the birthday I asked for that game, Operation. 3 years I waited. I was talking to a nurse the other day. She said the main problem facing the NHS is Holby City. Actually, she might have said obesity.
Well done. In that round, points go to Ed Gamble. Right in the back. On the board are 6 categories. Ed, which category would you like?
Home news, please.
Home news it is. The answer is 63 years. What is the question?
What is the shelf life of a pepperami?
Easy. If Hugh Hefner is 88 years, how old is his wife's granny?
Is it, what is the battery life of my Nokia 3310?
Is it how long before the Lib Dems can legitimately book a conference room again?
Is it what's old for a child?
Is it how long will it take before that American dentist feels comfortable putting his new lion rug in the waiting room?
Is it what does the TARDIS do to the gallon?
How long in his 5-year career has Jack Wilshere been injured for?
How old does cheddar have to be before it's described as off rather than mature?
is it how long has the Queen been our monarch?
You're absolutely right. That is about the Queen. Congratulations. Thank you very much, Josh Wilderstrom. Yes, this week the Queen surpassed Queen Victoria, 63 years, 7 months and 2 days, making her the longest reigning monarch in British history. Are you all excited about this?
Yep.
Yeah.
OK.
That's a very curious crown she's wearing there, isn't it?
She's double having. She's double having it, I think it's called.
I think somebody should have spotted that.
I have to, you know, I think very little about the Queen, but I hope on this particular day she was sitting in a room with a giant portrait of Queen Victoria, just ticking it off, just staring at Queen Victoria until her iWatch goes off, and she goes, "Take the picture down." But in honour of this being a historic day, we are drifting from our usual format. We're going to have a quiz.
Ooh.
We're going to have a quiz.
I love a quiz.
It is our Liz quiz. Obviously, we'd like
the expense that has been spent on that.
I really want to thank you for coming in and recording that little wave. What two common documents does the Queen not have?
The Da Vinci Code. And Life of Pi. Next.
Yes. Oh, the rest of them, she has them all. She
doesn't have a driving licence.
She doesn't have a driving licence.
No, although she has qualified to drive.
Yes, she has. She can drive. She trained to drive in the army, as far as I know.
She did, yeah. She stripped down engines and everything. in the army.
Absolutely, yeah.
Passport.
There's no driving licence and is the only person in the country who doesn't need a passport, as they're issued in her name. And so she cannot issue in her own name because, you know... But I think she's relatively good on the ID front because she just take out a tenner and go... oh, you not get this? Go send a letter, bitch. What did the Queen invent with a dachshund and a corgi?
A Dorgie.
Yes!
Is it?
Yes, it
I'm
is.
joking.
She invented a breed of dog called the Dorgie.
Which you say she invented it? What, she was there going, right, you put that in there now.
She didn't invent it, though, did she?
According to this card, yes, she did.
She couldn't have gone on Dragon's Den.
One needs £30,000 for 40%. It's always 40%. That's all they ever want, no matter how much you're going to say initially. 8%, 40. It's commonly known that the Queen owns the UK swans. Commonly known that the Queen owns the UK swans, says here. But what other water-based animals does she also have the right to own?
Ducks.
Not ducks, no.
Shopping trolleys.
I think it's... Is it dolphins?
It is. It's dolphins, whales and
Pretty big
sturgeons.
on the royal family. I know a lot of stuff.
You really are, actually. It's quite worrying. Dolphins, whales and sturgeons within 3 miles of the UK, they're hers.
Do the dolphins know, or do they just stray in and then that's it?
If they get too close, she's in a speedboat constantly, all right? Just patrolling that 3 mile limit around the country, right?
With her army of swans.
With her army of swans who work to track them.
When she does that wave, she's actually doing a fin motion to summon her dolphin army.
Army of dolphins, assemble! I come here with an army of dolphins. I want £40,000 for 35% of the company.
I have invented a swolfin.
It's interesting, though, because actually Mock the Week is a quiz.
Yes. We just shattered that thing by going, oh, we're going to have a little quiz. We've never done this before. I mean, the points go to Josh's team. What unusual present might people be giving this Christmas?
Oh. Dead seagull?
Have you ruined the surprise?
You were the worst Secret Santa ever. Time. For God's sake, kill it.
I think it's actually sperm.
It is
isn't
sperm. Yes, it is sperm. Yeah.
But this
Not an unusual gift. Horrific return policy. Not interested.
You said 14 days.
Oh, you've lowered the tone,
How have I ruined it? How have I ruined it?
Hitler will be sat at home livid that you've just said that.
Das war ein superben joke. Yes, but why is this? Why is this? Sorry, but
Because there's a British sperm bank.
yes,
Which
there
has
is.
only, since it's been set up, I don't know how long it's been set up, it's a while, it's like a year or a year and a half or something.
Yeah, yeah.
It's only had 9 donors.
Yes. Why? Is
I'm
it
wondering
only-
who the other 8 are.
Do you not all meet up? I presume if there's 9 donors, they'd kind of meet up every Christmas and year and go, oh, swap stories. And,
Not for biscuits, though.
yeah. And he's a Hitler fan.
You get paid 35 quid, and they were
Yeah.
saying, well, they could up their money to get more donors, but they don't want people just doing it for the money. And, oh, that's what you want, though. People just doing it for the love of it.
Yeah.
Then.
I want to give something back to this game, you know what I mean? Like, I was,
Is it
my
35?
dad was a sperm donor, my granddad was a sperm donor. I've got a long line of sperm donors, yeah.
Is it 35 quid for the whole lot, or 35 quid per sperm?
No.
Because I could be maybe 160 quid.
What's the other reason, by the way, that people don't want to do
Because when you're 18, they can now track you down.
Yeah, they can. You're no longer allowed to be an anonymous sperm donor in this country.
You don't need that, do you? You know?
No.
You've just cracked one off, not thought much about it. 18 years later, you get this angry teenager coming up.
Ding dong.
Dad! Hello, Dad! Why did you leave me? 35 quid?
No, there is. Well, it's actually they've had a number of people attempt to be sperm donors. They need regular sperm donations, but it's very difficult because they have to be frozen, and then turns with the sperm has to have a very high motility, a very high.
But it's not
strength.
very difficult to be the donor.
No, it is very.
In many ways, it's the easiest job in the world.
In many. Yes.
Well, no, because you've got to go in, haven't you? You've got to go into the bank. Like, I don't know about anyone else. I do most of my banking online now, so...
At the end of that round, the points go to Joshua Milton. Now we come to scenes we'd like to see. So if everyone can make their way over to the performance area, I'll read out this week's topics, then we'll see what our panelists can come up with. OK, here we go. The first subject is unlikely things to hear on breakfast TV.
You're watching breakfast TV because the chemist won't have your Valium ready until mid-morning.
Breakfast news now. A man has drowned in a bowl of Cheerios. Sadly and ironically, his family didn't get a chance to say goodbye.
This is BBC Breakfast. Look at it, that's meant to be a sausage.
Now, if you didn't see earlier on, we had steps. And that's why we interviewed Stephen Hawking outside.
Stay put for Jeremy Kyle. Today's tooth count is 3.
The world of show business has suffered another tragic loss. But don't worry, it's one of the ones you already thought was dead.
A lot of people ask me how I stay awake at this time. Well, you know what they say, early to bed, crack cocaine in the morning.
Today we're looking at the world's biggest birthday... Oh, no, Eamon's at it.
If you've been affected by any of the issues in today's Jeremy Kyle show, then phone us up. You're the sort of freak we need to get on tomorrow.
Later on, we'll be meeting a man who has to go through 50 steps before he can orgasm. All that to come.
It's Channel 5, it's 5 a.m, and I am going to sack my agent.
Well, it's time for the traffic news now, here on Christian Breakfast Time. So let's go over to our eye in the sky, God.
If you hear a knock at your door, you could be the winner of £20,000. 2 knocks and it's a police raid. Hide the guns.
Now we're going over to the kitchen where Chef Tony will be cooking up an excuse for why he's been texting my wife.
Next up on Channel 4 Breakfast, it's a brand new homegrown British sitcom. Only joking, it's Everyone Loves Fucking Raymond.
Well, let's take a look at the traffic. There it is. Brum, brum.
Well, I'm looking forward to this one. In the studio, we've got the new Doctor Who. Accidentally killed someone.
Okay. The next topic is lines you wouldn't read in a romantic novel.
The dark stranger emerged from the sea, his wet shirt clinging against his muscular torso. Soon, she held him and said the words she'd been dying to say for ages. I'm UK Border Patrol and you're under arrest.
She felt every part of his 8 inches. He was stiff, absolutely wretched, and even in her innocence, she knew her hamster was dead.
He felt a swelling down there. Shouldn't have tried to bang a beehive.
He took her hand in his and squeezed it. Now, he thought, I wonder where the rest of her body is.
I want to role play. I'll be a prince from a mythical land, and you be your sister.
He cupped her breast and put her arse in a bowl. She was into really weird shit.
You could make love, she said. Or vole, he replied, looking up from their game of Scrabble.
She felt her bosom heaving as Mr. Darcy came ever closer. Blimey, he said. You don't get many of them to the pound.
He grabbed her hand, he held it tightly, and they skipped off through the fields of daffodils. And it was at that moment she thought he might be a little bit gay.
He looked at the tattoo of Chinese writing on her back. He didn't know what it meant, but he did know she'd put out on a first date.
Jeremy Corbyn, you've got me blindfolded. What are you going to do now? Nothing. I just wanted to highlight the injustice of inmates detained at Camp X-Ray without a fair trial.
Why? Why does it end like this? She said. Childhood accident, he replied. I crushed it in a trouser press.
The debutantes paraded in the ballroom in front of the rich landowners, and the Master of Ceremonies proudly proclaimed, "Let the Darcys fondle the arses."
Marjorie, I'm going to kiss you like you've never been kissed before.
Of course I've seen a black penis before, she said. Just never attached to a white man.
At the end of that round, the point's going to Ed, Catherine and Andy. And that's the end of the show. This week's winners are Andy Parsons, Catherine Ryan and Ed Gamble. Commiserations to Milton Jones, Hugh Dennis and Josh Widdicombe. Thanks for watching. I'm Dara Breen. Good night. welcome to Mock the Week. I'm Dara O'Brien. Joining me this week are Ramesh Ranganathan, Sarah Pascoe, Rob Beckett, Ed Byrne, Hugh Dennis and Ed Gamble. We start with a round call. If this is the answer, what is the question? On the board are 6 categories. Ed, which category would you like?
Sport, please.
OK, the category is sport, and the answer is 33. What is the question?
Is it how many pages in a Game of Thrones script are just the word tits in massive letters?
And debt for the other 27 pages.
What is the emoticon for 2 women in a queue?
Is it the number of names that Prince Philip has for someone from the Indian subcontinent?
What's the retirement age in Athens? No?
Never underestimate the British desire to root for the underdog.
Is it how many times at Wimbledon Lewis Hamilton said, "Do you know I am"?
Is it, as an Irish person living in Britain, what is the most hilarious house number I can have?
Is it the number of women I slept with in my 20s plus 32?
Is it how many children you have to qualify for a family ticket at Mormon Centre Parks?
Is it, after how many miles did one of the proclaimers ask if they were nearly there yet?
Surely go, why are we both going? You're the only one who's going to shag her. Why am I joining you on this 500-mile journey?
You promised me she had a friend, is that right?
Is it, in bingo, which number is known as 2 juicy nutsacks?
But they're never looking for that to come out, are they?
Why do you have to qualify that they're juicy?
Well, if you... Because if you look at them, they are, aren't they?
You know?
They're plump.
What I'm saying is, if I was choosing an adjective, I'd go, like, hairless. That makes sense.
Yeah. And that's why you're not allowed to call bingo anymore, mate.
Is that how you got sacked from your job as a teacher?
Yeah. We're doing bingo again, kids.
Creepy bingo with Uncle Ramesh.
Is it, in the original script, how many times did you have to say Candyman before he appeared?
If a minicab says that it's 5 minutes away, how minutes... Holy...
Oh!
Don't talk bad about Uber.
Well, here, the minicab industry has long fingers, isn't it? You don't know that today.
Well, from now on, I'm taking a black cab.
We'll just carry on. Oh, so easy for you to say. All right, OK. We're being shelled here.
I thought it was
a single request to check the rest of the bulbs.
What was really weird was how loud that noise was, and yet the light stayed on for ages afterwards.
It's very far away.
Is it...
Nothing has fallen down. Nothing fell
no glass,
down.
no shadow of glass.
Is it how many people are going to be sacked after that light explosion?
OK, does anyone actually tell me the correct answer so we can finish this thing and get somewhere safe?
Is it... What age is Serena Williams now the oldest Wimbledon champion?
Absolutely right. Thank you very much. Well done, Empire. Yes. The question I was looking for was, how old is the new women's Wimbledon singles champion, Serena Williams? Williams, who turns 34 next month, became the oldest player to win Wimbledon in the open air when she defeated Spaniard Garbine Muguruza in the final on Saturday. Were you all watching Wimbledon? Do you enjoy Wimbledon this year?
I'm just a bit nervous of saying anything.
But And how old was Federer? Didn't win, could have won 33 as well.
He's 33, but he didn't win, did he?
He didn't win. No.
I feel sorry for Venus Williams. She's won Wimbledon 5 times, and she's still not the best at tennis in our family.
Do you think Serena just rubs it in as well on Christmas Day? You're going to pass the potatoes, Serena. Well, you didn't have to pass it on the championship plate, did you?
That play this for winners, Serena.
It's just about Federer, because he was even saying in the paper, if Federer had won, he would be the oldest Wimbledon champion. I'm going, yeah, but he didn't. That's not news. If I'd won, I'd have been the oldest Wimbledon champion.
I fancy her, but I find her a bit scary. She's so big and strong, isn't she? Imagine her grip. She'll pull it off.
Are you talking forehand or backhand here?
What I'm wondering now is how you can say something like that and a light doesn't explode.
Djokovic, so he's the guy who won the men's.
Yeah.
And then he ate a tiny bit of grass. Did you see this? And
Yeah.
and apparently he promised himself when he was a child that that's what he would do if he won Wimbledon. But I don't think that we should start keeping promises we made to ourselves as children.
No.
Or I would be living in an ice cream van, fattest ballerina in the world, married to my dad.
He's probably quite the catch.
I think I've seen a documentary about that on Channel 5.
I do better.
The coverage of it was quite celeb heavy. They really have gone big on it.
What I really wanted to happen there, so Benedict Cumberbatch was watching and Hugh Grant was watching, and what I really wanted to happen was towards the end of the 4th set, when it was obvious that Djokovic was going to win, if Benedict Cumberbatch had turned across to Hugh Grant and said, I think that's it for Federer, and Hugh Grant replies, no shit, Sherlock.
Lovely moment. It's been a lovely moment.
I have to say, I hated it when there's comedians in the audience, particularly when they're in the royal box, because my wife loves the tennis, absolutely, and she's glued to Wimbledon every year, and every time it cuts to the royal box, it's like Michael McIntyre or Stephen Fry is in there. I can just feel my wife's eyes on me, like, if you were just a bit funnier.
Who missed the men's final?
Oh, I love this story. Lewis Hamilton, he was like bragging on Instagram with pictures of the invitations to the royal box, and then there was this empty chair. And I think the commentators were, where's Lewis Hamilton? And apparently he turned up not in the right clothes. So I'm just picturing him, like, getting straight out of a racing car, wearing his helmet and like, walking up, being like, what? And putting down his visor to hide his tears.
Yes, they were the clothes he arrived in. He wasn't wearing a jacket and he wasn't wearing a tie.
Why did he have to miss the whole match, though? Because if anyone can drive home quickly and grab a tie and come back...
he can change in 7.8 seconds. I mean, we've got the right to around.
It's just royal etiquette, though, isn't it?
He's already laughing at Lewis Hamilton because we know Lewis Hamilton, but this is us then coming down on the side of the man going, I don't care who you are. You're the world driving champion. Well, I'm the subhead of the Royal Box Seating Committee. So, who's got the real power now, Mr. Vroom Vroom?
There's a lot of royal etiquette like that. So it is a royal rule that you are never allowed to turn your back on the Queen. You know that? I don't know why. She's very unlikely to nick anything.
She's making it very difficult for her chauffeur.
Yes.
Does she sit on his lap?
Exactly.
Maybe it's not having your back to the Queen, it's turning your back to the Queen. Like maybe she had a really bad experience with a kebab rotisserie. Yeah. She just doesn't want it brought back, the memories.
She'd struggle if she went on The Voice.
In other news, what new tax are doctors demanding?
It's on sugary drinks, isn't
Yes, it is, yes.
Oh, yeah, 20% tax they want on added to all of the drinks, fizzy drinks. That's just exactly what you said.
Yes.
just in case anyone missed that.
Sarah Pascoe, she looks at the stories behind the headline.
I think this is to do with the 20% tax on sugary drinks.
They want to use the tax money they've raised to reduce the price of fruit and vegetables.
Yeah.
Do you know, which is just such a crap idea, because 20% off a turnip doesn't make a turnip any more attractive.
What? 70 pence?
Yeah.
I don't think so. I think I'll have some cauliflower instead.
Well, they say it's because of obesity, innit, and tooth decay, and I'm on 16 cans of Coke a day just to get mine smaller.
You've got perfect teeth, and you need to stop putting yourself down. Really beautiful teeth.
They're ridiculous.
I think part of the problem is that, you know, the reason that kids don't care about their teeth anymore is that tooth fairy money has gone up so ridiculously that there's no incentive for kids to keep their teeth anymore. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're just going to get kids going, yeah, I've got £3 in cash and 50 quid, but it's all tied up in my mouth.
I don't think
your tooth fairy pay in euros or pounds in your house?
I pay them in pounds because they live
you
in
live
London. That would be unnecessarily
how far.
confusing. Guten News! Angela the Tooth Fairy.
I remember arguing with my dad about the value of my tooth as a child. I'd lost a tooth, and my dad said, how much do you think the tooth fairy's going to give you for that? I go, I'd say 50p. And my dad's going, I don't think that tooth is worth 50p. I think that tooth is worth about 20p. And I remember saying to my dad, well, it's not up to you, it's up to the tooth fairy. But do you know, my dad correctly predicted.
Very wise, your dad. Very wise, your dad.
I mean, I don't think this is that bad, because my uncle's got no teeth and he's fat and he's quite happy. But it's probably the meth.
Point for the rock, Sarah Bullock. Now we play a round called Grand Slam. Thank you, ma'am. This game involves Rob Beckett and Ed Gamble, so if you could make your way to the performance area, please. This round is a stand-up challenge. I launch the Wheel of News, and whoever chooses to stop, one of our performers must step forward and talk about that subject. OK, here we go. Let's have a look at the first topic. First topic is health.
I had to have my penis looked at. By a doctor. I didn't just wake up one morning and go, oh, more people should be looking at this, quite frankly. I used to spend an hour a day at my bedroom window with it pressed up against the glass. It was a scary experience having to go to the doctors. I thought I should build up the courage to get down there and have it looked at. Well, I went in there, my courage flew out the window like a little bird. Because as soon as I went in there, I found out that the doctor who I had an appointment with was a lady doctor. Now, I obviously don't have a problem with ladies being doctors. In fact, give them the vote, that's what I say. But there is a worry if there's a lady poking round down there. In that context, what if your nethers decide, ooh, think it's time to go to work? Luckily, then, I remembered I'm not an Alsatian whose lipstick pops out at the slightest whiff of an undercarriage. I needn't have worried because she was a good doctor, she was a great doctor. She put me at ease straight away using one word. This is what she said. She said, OK, Mr Gamble, just go behind that curtain there and pop it out for me. There's the word pop. Now, pop is a lovely word. As soon as I heard that word, I knew everything was going to be fine, because she was not expecting anything big in that area at all. Because the word pop is reserved for very small things. No one has ever said, come in, help me, pop the elephant in the van, have they? So I was relaxed. Better than me going in there and her saying, OK, just heave yourself out your trousers for me. Just haul yourself out the front of your trews. Just swing yourself over in my direction. Maybe I can bring out this Shire horse and he can drag your junk over towards my workstation. Or open this corner cupboard and bring out a team of pantomime dwarves who can shoulder your meat and waddle it over towards me, like pallbearers at a weird circus cock funeral. Thank you.
Good job. OK, that leaves us with Rob. Let's see what we've been left with for a topic. Let's spin the wheel. And the topic is growing up.
Yeah, I've had a big year. I've been growing up, got married. And I live with her as well. We're doing I like it, it's exciting. She's pretty happy about the marriage, though. She's got a passport now, so... But it's weird, though, like, when you're getting, like, you grow up and you get, like, your friends all getting couples and stuff like that, they always go, like, why don't we do come dine with me? No. If we're going to do a television programme, let's do Total Wipeout. It's much more fun, isn't it? I don't want to just cook more. And it's weird, though, because my mum did different things when she was growing up. She used to do Tupperware parties. And these don't exist. This is where groups of grown women used to buy and sell lumps of plastic. Like, what kind of night-in's that? And, like, the only thing that ever got bought at a Tupperware party was a big bowl, going to be used for salads in the summer, just turned into the house sick bowl. Everyone's got one of these horrible bowls in their house. It's a bowl you keep in your house that every member of your family's been sick in at least once. What kind of life's that for the bowl? He's at the Tupperware party, I'm a big bowl, going to see some salads in my time. No, mate, sick forever. The thing is, as well, like, I used to come home from the pub, not even going to be sick, just a bit pissed, and Mum goes, get in the sick bowl, you need the sick bowl. I don't need the sick bowl, Mum. But I get the bowl, I look in it, get flashbacks, I'm sick everywhere. There's been 3 generations of sick in that bowl. It's the closest thing we've got to an heirloom.
Well done, very good. Well done, both of you. Points for both Rob and Ed. Come on back. The next round is called Picture of the Week. I show the panel a topic and image and ask them to tell me what's happening. So, teams, who is this and why were they in the news this week?
Is he saying, in Greece, we play Air Bouzouki?
I think he's probably saying, that referendum, Alexander, that was a pointless answer.
I think he's saying, I know we're in a lot of debt, but at least can I just have some water?
Come on, people. Come on.
I think he might actually be saying the worst thing is that the Germans have made me stand in this top hat.
It looks a bit like Angela Merkel's playing the piano while he sings. Sing for me!
This is how you should earn back the money.
Yeah.
Sing it again.
He looks to me, he actually looks at me, and even though Angela Merkel is looking at him, he looks at me like he's just got there. And just like, I'll give that a few minutes about it. So it's all this Greek food I eat.
or he's just going, sorry, can anyone pay for the cabbie? He's just waiting outside.
Hurry up, meter's running.
Yeah. He'll explode a light if you don't pay him. Nice to see Angela Merkel letting her guard down, though, isn't it? Okay.
Come on, she's chilled out. She's dressed as a minion.
Very ironically, Angela Merkel dresses a minion. Yes, after almost 17 hours of talks in Brussels, a tenuous agreement between the EU and Greece has been reached. A long, all-night thing. All-night thing. The tensest moment, by the way, of the all-night thing is when they went, oh my God, I'm exhausted. Could somebody get me a sugary drink? And said, yeah, but that's another 20% of the tax. We'll never be free of this.
They were all-night talks, and what they kept referring to them in the papers as marathon talks, which really just hammers it home for the Greeks. That's a big cruel irony there.
Yeah,
exactly. Marathon talks, because the Battle of Marathon, the Greeks won.
They did. Well, it wasn't them, was it? It was 2 bits of... It was Athens versus Sparta, wasn't it?
It was they were versus the Persians.
Oh, OK, they were versus the Persians.
Yeah, at the Battle of Marathon.
I'd be on that team. It's boring over here.
Really And you know the terms of the deal?
Every time I read about it, there's mentions of the Eurozone, which just sounds like something from the Crystal Maze, and I get all excited.
Yeah, they're bringing that back. All of Greece has been turned into the set for...
It's the most desperate final round ever, as they just grab Euros out of the
You've earned 30 seconds to save your economy.
They're proper struggling, though, Greece, aren't they? Yeah. Like, you can get, like, flights and holidays dirt cheap. I went down my local Sainsbury's, got Moussaka, 40p.
They keep saying things like, oh, holiday makers in chaos. I think it's pronounced Kavos.
Ezra, who broke out in style this week?
In style?
The Mexican fella.
The Mexican fella. She's mysteriously known. They call me the Mexican fella. What? Here in Mexico? How does that distinguish you from anyone else in this country?
That's why he's so hard to catch.
And the Mexican drug lord.
So,
Look at him. It's like Super Mario.
That's what I was saying, yeah.
It was an amazing escape, wasn't it? He built a tunnel. At least the tunnel
Well,
was
he
dug.
didn't build a tunnel.
Well, it was dug towards
Yeah.
the prison, wasn't it? But
Yeah.
it was a kilometre long. It had lights. It had electricity. It had a track in it.
in a track, it had a Costa coffee.
He can do whatever he likes. He's a billionaire drug kingpin. He is so cocky.
He's a kingpin,
That
Lord.
is his passport photograph.
So what are you going to do?
Why have you put wanted across it? Is it as if someone's watching Mock the Week and going, hang on, that's my friend Terry?
It's like, just in case people are sitting and there's a man beside them going, oh, look at that. Wait a minute.
wonder why you were
up the
covered
sign
in
if it's
dirt.
printed with the word wanted at an angle.
The way he snuck out of jail last time was they rolled him up in a carpet and carried him out, and that's where the idea for a burrito came from.
Must have been a pretty wide tunnel, though, to get his sombrero through.
Sorry, mate. Mate.
Come on, mate. Have you said national act?
Ladies and gentlemen, the new host of Top Gear.
How has internet pornography been put to good use recently?
This is the tortoise, isn't it?
tortoise,
The tortoise.
yes.
This tortoise went. Well, two tortoises made a run for it, didn't they?
Tortoise?
I don't think it is, but...
Maybe, is it not tortilla?
So these two tortoises, one of them returned very soon, but the other one had gone walkabout. They weren't sure what it was. So this family, the kids, suggested that they play this YouTube clip of two tortoises like going at it, and then they played the sounds into the garden, and then eventually this tortoise came back.
The family decided to play tortoise. There's scenes on YouTube, like nature documentary type footage of tortoises making love. And
Sweet, wrinkly love.
Slow, careful, precarious love.
Really slow. By the time they get to the money shot, the currency's changed.
Baby, this is in drachma. We can show you a small...
Yes!
Yeah.
This is it.
You'll see some scenes of quite serious tortoise-on-tortoise action. The man tortoise get quite excited, and then you'll see the response of the lady tortoise, which is quite beautiful. Let's have a look at some beautiful images of tortoises at love.
Oh. What end's that?
Just...
I know that that's tortoises. I know that that's tortoises, but can you see what it's like from our point of view now?
At the end of that round, now we come to scenes we'd like to see. So if everyone can make their way over to the performance area, please. I'll read out this week's topics, then we'll see what our panelists can come up with. OK, here we go. The first topic is unlikely lines from a blockbuster movie.
I cannot hold her, Captain! I cannot hold her! Oh, no, hang on, I'll put her in the cup holder until she cools down.
Luke, I am your father. I think your mum went for about 3 stormtroopers before me.
Good news, Lord Vader. The rebels have voted 55 to 45 to stay within the Empire.
I am Thor, protector of Asgard, god of thunder, and I have lost my hammer. Quick hell, where in this Wix can I buy a new one?
Nobody puts baby in a coma.
Is it raining? I hadn't noticed. And now over to Stuart with the sport.
You're right, Frodo. This is an unexpected journey. We're on a replacement bus service.
You know what? I never liked Private Ryan. I say fuck him.
In a dystopian future, one lone man emerges intent on destruction. For more on the budget, tune into Newsnight at 10.
Say hello to my little friend. This is Warwick Davis.
I see dead people all the time. I work at Dignitas.
In all the Weatherspoons in all the world, he had to walk into mine. Tall fella, answered to the name of Dara, said I'd recognise him from the back of a megabus.
This is the furthest outreaches of the universe, Alpha Centauri. How did they get to host the World Cup?
Are you looking at me? Are you looking at me? It's just very difficult to tell you've got a lazy eye.
I'm afraid it's bad news, Dumbledore. The Ofsted inspectors have arrived.
They brought the dinosaurs back to life. Welcome to the best exotic Marigold Hotel.
What's wrong, Batman? Well, Robin's dead. Catwoman just dragged him in and tore his guts out and left him at the foot of me bed.
Ant-Man! It's me, Deckman!
Okay, the next topic is unlikely things to hear on a travel programme.
Look at these wide, sandy beaches. Fantastic. And we're almost certain the Ebola has now gone.
And the most wonderful thing about a trip to China is you get the opportunity to meet the child that made your trousers.
Yeah, I said it.
Southend is a lot like Las Vegas. It's the only other place in the world where you can pay for sex with chips.
This is Taiwan. I've given him a number because I can't pronounce his name properly.
I'm Danny Dyer, and welcome to Italy's quaintest vineyards.
Now, if you are travelling to America, remember to pack some anti-sickness tablets, because this is where Piers Morgan lives.
Running, cycling, rock climbing, you'll do anything to get out of this shithole.
The accommodation, the weather, the food, all of these wonderful things help you to forget how smelly the locals are.
Yeah, I said it.
Today we got a flavour of Thailand with just a little bit of Iraq. I'm in a branch of Thai-Rack.
This week, I'm in Kyrgyzstan, answering your questions, like, how do you spell it and where the fuck is it?
So, here we are in Lewisham. Now, it is a very impoverished area, but there's a lot to see and do if what you like seeing and doing is crime.
This truly is the best way to see Portsmouth, while looking at a picture of it when you're in Paris.
I'm almost certain my producer has got this wrong. I'm on a train to Leighton with a load of football fans. This is the Orient Express.
Something about travel.
Yeah, I said it.
This is Keflavik, one of Iceland's oldest geezers. You all right, mate?
When you arrive, why not try island hopping, or as it's also known as river dance?
When you travel, it's important to immerse yourself in the culture. So here I am in Malia being fingered outside the Lammen flag.
And that's the end of the show. This week's winners are Ramesh Ranganathan, Sarah Pascoe and Rob Beckett. Commiserations to Ed Byrne, Hugh Dennis and Ed Campbell. Thanks for watching. I'm Darragh Breen. Good night. Welcome to Mock the Week. I'm Darragh Breen, and joining me this week are Josh Widdicombe, Zoe Lyons and Matt Ford, Ed Byrne, Hugh Dennis and Milton Jones. We start with a round call. If this is the answer, what is the question? On the board are 6 categories. Matt, which category would you like?
World news, please.
OK, world news it is. The answer is petrol, money and drugs. What is the question?
Is it the 3 middle names of Princess Charlotte?
Is it what 3 things might a Greek keep in a chicken?
Is it what do gangsters play instead of rock, paper, scissors?
Is it what 3 things are keeping Keith Richards alive?
Is it what in The Sound of Music are the Von Trapp's family's real favourite things?
What are the 3 characters called on a packet of Colombian Rice Krispies?
What 3 things are we being paid in this evening?
All together in one big bucket.
Yeah.
What will the motto be for the Qatar World Cup?
Is it complete the song? Hugh Pew, Barney McGrew.
That probably scans very, very
It'd be a
well.
much better song, wouldn't it?
It would have been very good.
What are the 3 main aisles in a Bolivian Waitrose?
Does anyone know the correct answer?
You know that tattoo you got that you think says peace, love and harmony? Is it to do with Greece?
It is to do with Greece.
Is it what 3 things that they wore in Greece are about to run out of?
Ah, very good. Thank you very much, Ed Byrne. That's excellent. Yes, the question I was looking for is what items are at risk of running out in Greece after Sunday's crucial vote on the EU's bailout terms. This is news as 61% of the Greek population voted against accepting the strict austerity measures proposed by the EU. There's now a real risk that the country will run out of money, fuel and medicine. So what does it all mean for Greece?
It's ridiculous now. The whole thing is just going on. It is like a soap opera. And I don't watch the Eurozone crisis now day to day. I wait till Sunday and I watch the Omnibus edition.
This thing of just referring to the Greek exit as Grexit, it just is like, are you in that much of a hurry that you couldn't say a 3rd syllable?
If the British exit happens, it's going to be called Brexit. It sounds like a cheap form of Lego, or what the Greek Prime Minister does every time he meets Angela Merkel.
I don't get this thing that you can... I didn't know that you could reject banks' demands. If I'd known that, my whole life would have been different. If I'd been able to go to the bank and go, well, I do owe you 10 grand, but I really like my lifestyle.
It could be, but it could be a mis-selling scandal, doesn't it? Because as far as I'm aware, Greece was never made to sign that box that said your home is at risk if you do not keep up the repayments.
You think they're waiting for the PPI?
Yeah, I think
the
they'll
400 quid of PPI. Yeah. That's the one thing that will bail them out of this time.
Apparently the Greek government have admitted that living in their past is their Achilles heel.
No one was expecting that reaction.
Oxy, they went. Oxy to that. I think it's definitely a case that if they want to get bailed themselves out, like whatever, they really just have to invoke copyright law on all the stuff they invented some time ago now, right? But that they definitely invented, like democracy, triangles and gays. And if they...
Philosophy as well. The birthplace of philosophy, isn't it?
Or was it?
Yes. Oh, you
Who
know,
knows?
well.
Why do you think that there is a professional philosopher at home going, that's not what philosophy is? Not just going, or is it?
I think there's a lot of opportunities in Greece, actually. I'm going to start a band called Cash Machine, because people will be queuing around the block. But we've been told if we go on holiday to Greece that we should take lots and lots of money with us.
Yes.
To rub it in?
I think it's to pay your kidnappers.
I think there's a ploy behind telling tourists to bring as much cash with them as they possibly can, because they know there'll be a load of overweight, old British tourists there with massive bum bags of cash round the front. They're basically just sitting human ATM machines. That's all they are.
Do muggers line up behind the tourists? One of them goes, no, €60 each.
Yeah.
There's a limit for mugging these people. That's it.
Someone started a crowdfunding for Greece, and it's got less than the Crystal Maze.
Oh, God.
Because people would prefer to go to the Aztec Zone than Athens. That's a fact. If I said to you, I can take you to the Aztec Zone or Athens, you'd be in there like a whippet, Dara, yeah.
I
You'd be shooting a sandbag with a bamboo.
I would choose a mind puzzle. I am already wondering which little square I'm going to go into. Yeah, it's good.
What I love
They're
is...
like a whippet.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I've known him for a long time. Dara has never done anything like a whippet.
Particularly hard.
You've never seen him shit in a park.
I think you'll find.
I am not.
And he does it like a Great Dane. So he locks eyes with you when he's doing it.
This is for you. This is for you. Burn.
I'm glad we've dealt with Greece.
Yeah.
Has anybody noticed Dara's eye, by the way? Is it off-putting? Do you think the people at home will be concerned? What has happened?
I do. There's just a little sty there. It's just got infected. So
Is that really it?
No, it's a.
Has Brian Cox been beating you again?
Look into the telescope. He said, "Look hard into the telescope," and he bruised my eye, ramming it in. Yeah. Go on. Look. That hurt you. That's my good eye, Brian. That's my good eye.
He's just trying to turn you into Patrick Moore.
They're so worried they get me an eye patch. That, like, this would be much more subtle if I played that. I presented the entire show like that because I've got a tiny infection in the eye. To be fair, I have a secret desire to have an eye patch. You know, I don't want to ever lose an eye. That's not how much I want to have an eye patch, but I think they're cool. Something massively impressive, because a guy with an eye patch, shit has happened. Because also you can do this. Sexy. The final part of undressing in a sexy way would be to take off the eye patch and what?
You take my eye out.
In other news, what do doctors want us to stop using?
They're waiting rooms to sleep in.
People taking helium, and they enjoy it, and they speak very highly.
Bizarrely, that's correct.
It's a finite resource, and it's needed for MRI scanners.
And what not? Yes, very, very true, yeah. It's being used up on fripperies like balloons. And squeaky voices.
Yeah, although I'm doing this one without it.
There was a worry that instead of helium then in balloons, they will instead start using nitrous oxide in balloons, but nitrous oxide is laughing gas. So then that's the worry, is that the kids will be able to get high on their balloons if we end up having to do party balloons with nitrous oxide.
But if you're worried about kids getting high on nitrous oxide balloons, you can surely get high on a helium balloon just by holding on to it.
I was doing a gig at Festival, I think it was, and you could hear when people are taking nitrous, like you can hear it because there's an audible because they do it into a balloon and into their mouth to give himself a giggle. And people were doing it at my gig. Actually kind of
Is it not
cruel heckle, isn't it? It's like, OK, I'm going to need something to get me through this.
Is it not people that, Ed, that you deliver one of your trademark jokes and the crowd will go... Was that not the same?
I only found out those little canisters that they suck it from are called whippets. The little canisters of nitric
That's
oxide.
right, yeah,
Yeah,
they're
they're
called
called whippets. Somebody said to me, the kids are sucking whippets in the park. And I was like, oh, my God, do I need to call the RSPCA?
By the way, how do scientists now think the universe will end?
Oh, well, spoiler alert.
There's a thing called the Big Rip.
Yes.
The universe is sort of is accelerating so fast and getting faster and faster and faster that eventually it will just rip itself apart.
Yeah.
Is that right? And that'll be the end.
They say this, how do scientists now think? What other nonsense have scientists just made up about what might happen 20 billion years from now when no one's around to say, oh, you got that one wrong? It's just nonsense that his mate Brian natters on about to keep himself siphoning BBC funds into his big fat bank account. I'll tell you what, it's all horseshit.
Me and Brian on the astronomy gravy train with all those millionaire... making a rave! Look at the Big Bang now, bitches!
What will happen, though? I mean, they're saying this might happen in 22 billion years, that you can guarantee it'll be the day that the Greeks do pay back the last cent.
Finally.
10 cents!
It's called the Big Rip.
The Big
The
Rip is
idea is
actually
everything's going to continue to accelerate faster and
It's an
faster
extension.
until the whole
It's
thing
actually an
just comes apart.
extension of the Big Freeze, and it's either
it?
that or the Big Crunch. Yeah, it's
Are they all the same thing?
No, Big Freeze would happen first, then the Big Rip would possibly happen after that.
And when is big yellow storage from that?
That is just off the M4 in Hounslow.
And then there's the big inns where the whole universe just goes into panto for the rest of its life. Big inn.
Oh, Big Wow, that was too long a journey for me.
There was a leap there. I agree with that.
Tell me that joke again, Ed. I got some...
Oh, no.
Fine.
Now they're going to have to broadcast my bad joke for your good. That's the worst thing that can happen to a comedian.
You pick on Brian Cox, you pick on me, right? That's the way this works, my friend. At the end of that round, the points go to Matt, Zoe and Josh. Now we play a round called Grease Frightening. This game involves Zoe and Milton, so if you could make your way to the performance area, please. This round's a stand-up challenge. I launch a wheel of news, and whoever chooses to stop, one of our performers must step forward and talk about that subject. The winner is whoever I think is the funniest. OK, let's spin the wheel for our first topic. And the topic is exercise.
We all know we need to do more exercise. I mean, we've now got the fattest kids in Europe. I'm not going to make fun out of obese children. I've learnt not to do that. They will come down on you like a ton of bricks. I didn't like exercising as a kid. When I was a kid, I was made to go swimming in a pool that had a Veruca pool before you got into it. The Veruca pool. Do you remember the Veruca pool? They actually called it the Veruca pool. You can't encourage children to walk in something that's called a Veruca pool. It's like offering somebody the use of your chlamydia flannel, isn't it? I mean, I'll try and exercise a bit more now. I've started doing yoga because apparently it increases your flexibility and spirituality. And I've got to be honest, it's pretty good. I'm now so good at the downward-facing dog, I have on occasion caught glimpses of my own third eye. I did a half marathon though a few months ago, which was pretty good. You know, don't be overly impressed, which you're clearly not. But I only finished yesterday, so there's clearly a lot of work to be done. And I did the run for charity, and I know a lot of people are doing things for charity. You can't just exercise now, can you? You've got to do it for a good cause. And I get a lot of those emails. I know we all do. You know, will you sponsor me? Will you sponsor me? I'm like, what are you doing? I'm flip-flopping up Kilimanjaro for diarrhoea. Pogoing across the Arctic for trapped wind. Are you? Don't do that. I mean, The last London Marathon, it cost me an absolute fortune because I sponsored loads of friends, right? I gave one friend 20 quid because he was doing it for cancer research, another friend 20 quid because he was doing it for heart disease, another one 20 quid because he was doing it for diabetes. In the end, it was actually cheaper for me to join Bupa.
OK, that leaves us with Milton. Let's see what you've been left with. Let's spin the wheel. And the subject is work.
I didn't think I'd get a loan from the bank for my knitting business, but when I turned up actually wearing one of the balaclavas... I used to be a weatherman. In fact, does anyone want to buy a broken barometer? No pressure. If there'd been a mix-up, my uncle could have ended up as the next president of the United States. He's an undertaker in the army, or Barack Obama. Soldiers, of course, very emotionally repressed. Sometimes you see one of them go into the middle of a parade ground and shout, "Attention!" What he needs is a hug. Well, that's what I thought. My dad, he was a soldier, so, of course, as a family, we were always moving around a lot, because he used to use us for target practice. 6 hours I had to wait in the other day for the electrician until he opened the cupboard under the stairs and I was able to leap out at him. I remember when I was a policeman, I was asked to seal off an area and I went... "Arr!" That's all right, thank you.
Well done. Points there for Milton Jones. Come on back. OK, the next one is called Picture of the Week. I show the panel a topical image and ask them to tell me what's happening. So what's going on here?
They unveiled the banker on Deal or No Deal.
That's George Osborne delivering the budget, surrounded by all his friends.
Or is it Mr. Bean sets off on a picnic?
Is the caption quite simply, Osborne's trousers too short?
Or is he delighted that the front door doubles as a pause button?
Is it George Osborne with his budget box and he's delivering the budget this week?
Yes, he is. Thank you very much, Scott.
I think he should, because it is like the box from Deal or No Deal. I think it would be a lot more exciting if he did the budget like that. Say, goes to the opposition leader, I'm going to cut $2 billion in disability benefit. Or you can have the cut that is in this box. Deal or no deal? He could have a phone ringing next to him.
Oh.
That'd be bloody Brussels, I imagine, wouldn't it, darling?
Yeah.
The way things are going.
Yeah, they make all the decisions around here. Bloody...
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Josh, well, this show's going to lurch to the right.
Every budget in my lifetime has unravelled in the weeks afterwards. So they get the one big hit, everyone says, oh, actually, this sounds all right. And then it unravels. If you're going to lie in the first place, go triple large on it. Turn up in the comments and say, you know what? We've nailed it. We are all millionaires. That's right. No one's skint anymore, and we've solved poverty. And then at least have one day where people go, Osborne is a genius. Just have the one day where you feel like a legend.
I think that's where Greece went wrong, though.
In sporting news, who has been causing upset at this year's Wimbledon?
Oh, it's that naughty little Australian man.
There was a naughty little Australian man. Yes, there was.
Yes.
Rolf Harris.
No, he's not.
That would be genuinely disturbing. Wooka waka wooka waka. You can hear him coming now. Wooka waka wooka waka wooka waka.
He's already been caught in the net.
Well, there's been a load of Aussie fanatical fans in the stands who've been making loads of noise, and according to that picture, Boris Johnson has just joined the as well.
The quite big question about them is how did they get so many tickets? It's impossible, isn't it?
They're all working in the bar and that's their break.
But they support Nick Kyrgios, don't they? They're called the Fanatics, aren't they? And they come in and they specifically support him. But he absolutely splits opinion. So in the Australian newspaper this week, there was a headline that went, Nick Kyrgios, breath of fresh air or a total dickhead.
What has outraged villagers in the Forest of Dean?
A swinging festival.
There was a swinging festival, do you know what it was called?
Swingfield.
Swingfield 2015 took place.
Yeah, but it's like, they had to call it that. It was either that or Creamfields. Look at your little face.
Which is what they'll end up with, isn't it? I mean, it'll be the only festival you need wellies even if it isn't raining.
There was a quote from a local, a concerned local, saying that they'd found somebody trying to sneak into the festival through their back garden. Right? And they said, "No, this is unacceptable. We're very concerned about who will come onto our land." Not me. That's a genuine quote. I'm going for fun.
Did you see one of the locals complained that the music was too loud? Surely. Don't tell them to turn the music down. That is far worse.
It was £165 for the festival for the entire weekend, and they're promised a themed zone, a sauna, a hot tub. I'd use that on Friday afternoon and then let it go.
I was just imagining a field with a massive bowl of keys in the middle. That's how I was imagining.
It's the only festival where the car parks are busier than the fields.
It's revolting. I don't even use the toilets at festivals. I thought of using half the other festival goers. It's just...
I'd insist it was someone with a day ticket, I think, if I was going.
How did they not call it Astonbury?
Do you know what? My vote was for Traditude. And in fact, the most popular queue was for the pulled pork stand.
Oh, my God.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you very much. I've taken some various elements and brought them together in that joke.
Put it on again. Put it on again. The iPad, put it on again. Go on, go on.
Oh, you look funny. You look funny. Do the thing where you look funny again. You know when you made you look like the guy from the back of a fucking bus, and for 3 years, everyone sends you photographs of a cartoon man on the back of the bus every day on Twitter. Hey, Dara, I saw you in Manchester today, huh? Click. Oh, bollocks, that back on the back of the bus again. Do that with an eye patch, and then for years, every eye patch person in the universe, I will get sent him on Twitter. Happy? There. I'll take it on my nose. Is that all right? Is that all right? Oh, I hurt my nose. Oh, wow, it looks like I'm wearing a G-string.
If the marketing people are clever, that bloke on the back of the megabus is going to have an eye patch by next week.
Now we come to scenes we'd like to see. So if everyone can make their way over to the performance area, I'll read out this week's topics and then we'll see what our panelists can come up with. OK, here we go. The first subject is unlikely things for a sports commentator to say.
Embarrassing, humiliating, bringing shame on the sport. Welcome to Wimbledon Today with me, Claire Balding.
And it all comes to this. After years of training and preparation, I'm commentating on the Poxy water polo.
Mo Farah has apologised for his association with substances that the British public regard as abhorrent and has said he will never advertise Quorn again.
Welcome back to the golf, where Tiger Woods apparently travels with 2 inflatable sex dolls now in case he gets a hole-in-one.
And he's found a chocolate biscuit down the back of the sofa, but he's not going to celebrate because it's his old club.
And he's resting 2 balls on the cushion now, which is why he won't be allowed back into ICANN.
And he pops the cork and he's spraying everyone with champagne. Welcome to the first Conservative budget since 1996.
Here we are at the Crucible, all burning to death!
was the speed skating, and now crack cocaine curling.
The American and the Russian are out in front, and here comes the Finn. Yes, they're going to swim a lot faster now. The shark is chasing them.
And so they've brought up a curtain around the horse that fell earlier, but no, we've got good news. He's moved to a farm in the countryside.
Well, here we are at the Rugby League. It's tough, men. It's better than rugby union, and at the same time, ever so slightly more gay.
And this decision's going to a touch judge, and yes, it's sexual harassment.
Well, this is his third attempt with a bar at this height. No, still can't get served.
And here come the 2 Red Bulls, which is what you'll need to keep yourself awake during Formula 1.
I'm joined here by Balding, or Alan Shearer as he likes to be known.
Raikkonen now on super soft. The Viagra simply not working.
And if you want to find out what this function key on the keyboard does, join us after the break on F1.
And after the break, join me, Claire Balding, presenting everything. I present everything now. Everything is mine, everything.
OK, the next topic is unlikely things to hear on a gardening programme.
There's something about eating food that's come from your own garden. This is quite a hearty stew I've made out of a squirrel I shot with an air rifle.
Well, to answer your question, I tend to keep mine on a hose reel, but then I'm very lucky down there.
These pine trees smell suspiciously of air freshener.
My advice would be don't splash out on expensive gnomes. Do what I do and just simply varnish some small children I found playing in the park.
I call this my Blue Peter garden because it's the first place that I blew Peter.
Remember, the trick is to get your pitchfork right through it before you take it and throw it back over the fence.
Well, we've had a letter from Mrs. Smith of Epsom who's asked us to identify something that she has found in her garden. Well, Mrs. Smith, that is a dog turd.
I've got a letter here from Maureen in Doncaster who's asking a question about herbs. In response to your letter, Maureen, I would recommend about £200 for an ounce, and if it's really good shit, 300.
Well, that is the wheelbarrow, and tomorrow I'll show you another sexual position.
So it's quite simple to take up an old patio. All you do is just leave it. Not talk about it ever again.
I woke up in a field of aubergines the other day. I thought, none of these baby seals have faces.
Right, welcome to the UKIP garden. Sod the lawns, let's concentrate on them borders.
So you could use a lawnmower or a strimmer, although I would recommend waxing.
Take the shovel, force it right down like that. Save your fortune in vet's fees having it put down professionally.
Help! I'm being attacked by pineapples! Help! Help!
I like to plant my herbs in alphabetical order. People say to me, how do you find the time? I said, it's there next to the sage.
At the end of that round, the points go to Ed, Hugh and Milton. And that's the end of the show. This week's winners are Josh Widdicombe, Zoe Lyons and Matt Ford. Commiserations to Ed Byrne, Hugh Dennis and Milton Jones. Thank you for watching. I'm Darragh Breen. Good night.
Headline making Russell Howard takes you back to 2012 on BBC Three now with his good news.
Welcome to Mock the Week. I'm Darragh Breen. Joining me this week are Andy Parsons, Sarah Pascoe and Ed Gamble, Nathan Caton, Hugh Dennis and Ed Byrne. We start with a round called Picture of the Week. I show the panel a topical image and ask them to tell me what's happening. Here's a picture of the new Labour leader, Jeremy Corbyn. So what's going on here?
Has he been sleeping in the bin on the right?
The idea it could be the oldest delivery boy in the world still hasn't figured out how to hold a pizza correctly.
I suspect he's dressed up for his first meeting with the Queen.
Is it just simply first day at big school?
Is it breaking news? Marks and Spencer's merger with Sports Direct.
I think possibly it's page 3 of the Socialist Worker.
I'm glad you told me that was Jeremy Corbyn. For a second, I was worried that's what Charlie Brown looks like now. And that folder actually contains Snoopy's ashes.
Too much now.
Please. Snoopy's long dead.
I think it's 66-year-old legend still got it going on.
I reckon the owners of number 48 are probably very proud to be able to show off their garden like that.
It was a Tuesday! Yeah. It was a Tuesday! The bigs are collected on a Tuesday!
I bet they're more surprised than anyone that one of their gnomes just came to life and walked off.
Is he such a dedicated socialist that he refuses to look to the right, even then that's the direction he is in fact looking?
Are you saying that? Well, ultimately, I'm sorry, you were all born bad T-shirts and shorts. It's just socks with the trainers is the only genuinely offensive thing there.
Yeah.
But it is Jeremy Corbyn who's elected leader of the Labour Party on Saturday, winning a landslide majority of 59.5% of the vote. So how are we enjoying the new era under Corbyn?
It's exciting. It's really exciting. I'm so happy, and I'm not going to let you guys ruin it for me. I'm not going to.
And that's reasonable, isn't it? Because, I mean, there's nothing weird about Jeremy Corbyn at all, is it?
But he's right there, isn't it? Because in an era of identikit politicians, it is about time we had a leader of a major party who looks like he should be advertising canal boat holidays.
No, I'm not surprised that he won. I'm just surprised that he won by such a large majority. Like, he got so many votes, like, even the organisers of the Qatar World Cup were going, how the hell do you do that?
His first congratulation call was from Sepp Blatter, actually.
I feel really sorry for him, because even though he's actually won this, people in Labour don't even seem to like him. And I think it's because he is so good. Like, he's a saint. He's so pure. He's so principled.
He collects pictures of drain covers.
OK,
is that a thing? He is the nerd of the nerds. And obviously he's not the only MP who's got a large collection of pictures of manholes, but he's...
The weird thing is because he's an Arsenal supporter. He goes on to matches, but
that comes as no surprise.
Yeah, well,
does it, Dara?
yes. Well, he's in Islington for God's sake, but that
Well, not so
have been
much
any.
that, but it's a bunch of underperforming Reds who are hooked on the outmoded concepts of a foreign intellectual who, when they tried to put a team together this year, couldn't get anybody decent to join them.
That is some weapons-grade analogy there.
How did Cameron react? Do you see the Cameron's reaction to it?
Security is the key word.
There's a lot about security. He sent out this tweet. In fact, no one sent out this exact tweet, but it came from the Labour Party is now a threat to our national security, our economic security, and your family's security. Not my family. My family are fine. We live in a big house with 2 policemen outside the front. But your family, where are they now? Do you think that for a second? Look around. Can you see them? No, I can't see them either. He's climbed in the window and stolen them. That's where your family are gone, my friend. And I have a unique set of skills to return my family. I will, whatever Liam Neeson does.
You see that tweet, and then you see a picture of Jeremy Corbyn, supposedly the most dangerous man in Britain. This is the man who's a 66-year-old beige pensioner who's a pacifist vegan cyclist. The most dangerous man in Britain. He's in trouble if there's a lorry turning left and he hasn't had his B12 supplement.
Do you think the subtext is that the Labour Party is now a threat to our national security, economic security and your family's security because now they've become completely unelectable? We Tories are going to go hog wild on this country!
It feels like Cameron's got the Labour Party mixed up with the bad guys from Transformers.
Who are the bad guys in Transformers?
The Decepticons.
I think we've just spotted the nerd of the nerd of the nerd.
I think that would be exciting. I was saying to my friend, imagine if we had a genuinely pacifist Prime Minister. You spend the defence budget on education, you put Trident on eBay. It'd be so brilliant. And my friend was like, yeah, and then what about if Britain is invaded and everyone's family is killed? Yeah, he probably won't get re-elected. Great thing!
If you do buy Trident on eBay, I think it's not a bad idea, but if you do, if you're buying it, come and collect it. It's not the kind of thing you want delivered.
I actually agree with Corbyn about the whole Trident stuff, because I'm not a massive fan of Trident. I'm more of an Airwaves person myself.
What has been the response to the new shadow cabinet?
I was very excited by the shadow cabinet.
No way.
Yes. Lots of people that I'd never heard of before, and the minute I heard of them, I loved them. It made me... Jeremy Corbyn's shadow cabinet made me understand why people play Premiership Football Manager. It's going to be an amazing team. It's played too much on the left. But they share the ball. Including with the other team.
But their goals are unattainable. Sorry, I've just had a moment where I sounded exactly like my father and I need to shake that off.
Yeah, and also it has the twins.
The Eagle
twins.
Yes.
Eagle
twins.
I love this.
Business and defence, isn't it?
Appointed Angela Eagle and at the same time appointed Lord Falconer. And you wonder if Lord Falconer is there to control Angela Eagle. Here, Angela.
Yes, in other political news, who did David Cameron manage to offend this week?
Everyone.
Just by
being him.
Yeah. Okay.
Just
by sneaking up behind them going, where's your family now?
He offended Yorkshire, didn't he? He offended Yorkshire, said he knew that they hated everybody else, didn't know that they hated each other more. And he said this when he was actually going to watch England against Australia in a one-day cricket match at Headingley, or as he likes to call it, the home of Aston Villa.
didn't know that people from Yorkshire hated everyone outside of Yorkshire. It sounded quite charming. Is that a thing? Is that a thing in this
They have a
country?
massive rivalry, but also within Yorkshire they have a rivalry because it's all split up,
it's all
isn't it?
West Yorkshire
into
and-
north,
yeah,
south,
yeah.
east and west. So people from Leeds, they hate people from London because they regard them as southern. People from Leeds, they hate people from Sheffield because they regard them as southern. People from Leeds, they hate people in Beeston because although it's Leeds, it's South Leeds.
To be honest, I'm not really interested in this story. The question I've been asking myself since the beginning of this is, does Angela Eagle tweet? Or does she just go, Which would it be?
We check out her account and it's just hundreds of, like, A-H-H-H-H-H-H, and then a mouse! Exclamation mark.
Yorkshire does have an excellent accent, though. One of the finest accent jokes in the world is one about the Yorkshireman whose dog dies, and he goes to a jeweller's and says, I want a statue made of me dog. And the jeweller says, do you want it 18 carat? He says, no, I want it chewing bone. Oh, it's a great joke. Yeah. It's not my joke. I didn't write it. Classic joke.
a Yorkshireman has invented a replacement for antibiotics. Uncle Biotics.
No wonder they hate each other if they're telling each other those jokes. You've ruined Christmas again, Dad!
OK, the end of that round. The points go to Ed, Hugh and Nathan. Now we play a round called You've Got to Be Corbynit to Win It. This game involves Nathan Caton and Ed Gamble, so if you could make your way to the performance area, please. This round is a stand-up challenge. I launched a wheel of news, and whoever chooses to stop, one of our performers must step forward and talk about that subject. OK, here we go. Let's spin the wheel. And the first topic is home life. Nathan.
Yeah, I could talk about home life. I still live at home with my mum still. Thanks for the judgmental silence. Yeah, I live at home. My mates give me the most stick for it, because I'm the last one in my group of friends who still lives at home with my mum. They've all moved out, so they see me as a mummy's boy. And every time they see me, they're like, Nathan, what's wrong with you, man? Why are you still at your mum's, man? Aren't you embarrassed? Why are you still at your mum's? Why are you still at your mum's? It's like, I live in West London. Have you seen house prices? I'm not going anywhere, man. If anything, I'm looking at my mum thinking, when are you going to bloody leave? Stop clinging on. Let it go, woman. She's going to slap the black off me when she sees this. So, yeah, I like peace and quiet. Although, to be honest, at home, I'm not getting a lot of peace and quiet at the moment, mainly because of my mum and my stepdad. They got married quite recently. And I'm happy for my mum. You know, she's found happiness. She deserves it. However, at the moment, they're going through that honeymoon phase where they're having sex all the time. Yeah, it is bloody disturbing, man. Because my bedroom is, like, right next door. So, like, every time they do it, I hear everything. Like, a few Saturdays ago, right? It's late at night. I'm about to go to sleep. From next door, I can hear my stepdad going, oh, yes, oh, yes, oh, yes, oh, yes, oh, Lord, oh, Lord. Say something nasty, say something nasty, say something nasty. So I screamed out, you're not my real dad!
Thank you very much, Nathan Caton. OK, that leaves us with Ed. Let's see what topic you've been left with. And the topic is diet.
I hope this isn't just a hint that I need to lose weight. Because I've lost quite a lot of weight recently anyway. I've lost about 6 stone in the last 3 years. Cheers, guys, thanks. I mean, no. Too late, you went with the British reaction. Thank you very much. Couldn't give a shit, mate. Carry on. We don't... Stop showing off. We don't want to hear about it. Found myself in a bit of a nightmare situation recently. I went to the Middle East to do some gigs. Now, that bit was nice, that was lovely, but they put you up in a hotel where the food is all-you-can-eat buffets 3 times a day for 10 days. Now, this is a nightmare scenario for me because I cannot be trusted at an all-you-can-eat buffet. Sometimes I don't even remember the buffet bit. All I remember is picking up a plate and I'll wake up 6 hours later covered in rice and sauce.
And I can't theme a buffet. I can't theme a buffet either. I won't pick up a plate and go, oh, I'll have some rice, I'll have some curry. Well done, Ed, you've made yourself an Indian meal. Won't do that. I'll get a plate, I'll get a spoon, and I'll run along the full line of trays, just scraping food from every nation onto it until I've got some sort of plate Pangea, just an unidentifiable mass, just Spanish food, Japanese food, Chinese food, Indian food, coffee, sushi, just horrible. Just wedge my face into it, everyone going, is that man all right? Don't look at me! I'm having a buffet! Just food from all over the world. My body for 10 days had no idea where I was on this planet. I went for a shit 3 days in, a UN flag came out.
Well done. Gemma and point go to Ed Gamble. Come on back. The next round is called This Is the Answer, What is the Question? On the board are 6 categories. Nathan, which category would you like?
It's got to be sport, please.
OK, cool. Your category is sport. The answer is 1 billion. What is the question?
How many white people apologised to me when 12 Years Slave was in cinema?
Really sorry.
I don't know him. It's cool, don't worry.
Is it how many pounds in cash did the Queen hide under her bed when she'd seen that Jeremy Corbyn had been elected leader?
Her family security is at risk.
How does someone with a cold say 1 million?
That could be what caused the financial crisis in the first place.
Is it how many wives would Henry VIII have had if he'd been on Tinder?
I shall have her. And I shall have her. Am I even flicking the right way? I shall have her. OK. Thank you. Oh, thank you. OK.
Or is it how many crisps can you eat before you bleed to death? Having a spiky poo.
Is it from a spiky poo?
Or as the Scots call it, bitey shitey.
Is it what is the first thing that happens in Billy Elliot the musical? 1 billion.
Is it how many of Hillary Clinton's emails were actually spam asking her if she wanted to increase her penis size?
Is it how many traces of urine are there in a peanut bowl in a Piss on Your Hands club? Have you noticed that one?
It's the right answer!
Is it how many times since Saturday has Andy Burnham gone, bollocks?
Can we move towards the correct answer, please?
OK. How many tracks are there on the compilation album The Best of Sound?
That's got to be the answer, right?
It was only released.
We now have to think
this week.
of things to improvise around that now.
Yeah. Oh, this really is the best of sound.
I think it's how much income will be generated by the Rugby World Cup.
That's absolutely right, Hugh. Thank you very much. Totally right. Yes, the answer to the was by how much money is the forthcoming Rugby World Cup expected to boost the economy in the UK?
There are very few games where before you go out on the pitch, you decide there's probably a need for you to gaffer tape your own ears to your head.
What do they have to do?
Yeah, they do. In case people bite them, in case people chew their ear. Yeah.
But and not like in a nice nibbly way, like, oh, this is you're playing really well.
It's a...
That's what we do at netball.
Yeah, it's the only sport with the opening ceremony is a doctor just explaining concussion.
That's one thing I do find fascinating is that how well behaved they are in rugby. It's like I'm used to football where like they argue all the time. Like rugby's like cricket in the sense that they just obey. Like in cricket, if you're given out, you don't argue. It's like why are you not arguing? The umpire's an old guy with a cardigan. You're a young athlete with a bat. You can make him change his mind.
somebody sent me the Ireland jersey. The company who makes them sent me the Irish jersey in large, and it's ludicrous. It is like a child's t-shirt because they wear them out incredibly tight so that no one can grab them. There's nothing to hold on to anymore. So it's all changed. And I put it over my head with my hand through it, and then had to get somebody to roll it down my torso. And then
You look a bit like the thing at the end that they throw the ball across. Be like that, and then
Sarah,
they throw it.
before you make jokes like that, you need to make sure you know posts as a word.
It's not netball. You don't throw the ball over the post. It'd be wonderful at the very end of the World Cup final. They just threw the ball over the post. Yay! That's not how you score.
You're too confusing.
Okay, so kicking though. So you kick it
You
through
kick-
the
you
post.
kick- at
and then the
point you
game's
kick.
over.
And no.
This is such a happy day for me that somebody on the show knows less about sport than I do. I'm sitting here now, I feel like Eddie Waring.
Eddie Waring, who was rugby league. In the line-out, what happens is they throw the ball in, and it's a bit like cheating because two of them can lift up a player so as they jump higher to get it, right? But you think if there's 8 in the line-out, why don't they take the cheating further, get 3 of them to lift up 2 of them, to lift up 1 of them?
Makes no sense. And it's like Strictly or something. They're all standing there, and suddenly from nowhere, one of them just appears out of the water. Generally, they're actually reaching for the ball. They should do more.
Do they know?
They should play the music from Dirty Dancing when that happens.
That'd be fantastic. The time of my life.
So the person who gets lifted up, do they know it's going to happen, or is it surprise? You two suddenly lift me. Like, oh my God, I never knew. I'm the chosen one.
Sometimes they think it's the rapture. And they think, oh, take me now, Lord. Oh, no, and then they're immediately run over by 8 Frenchmen. But it's a very beautiful game. Yeah. OK, moving on. Who have scientists discovered in a cave this week?
I'm so excited about this story, but I can't pronounce the name, and I'm worried about... I know they're not here to get offended.
They're not.
The Homo naledi, or naledi.
Nadali. Homo nadali. Yeah.
Nadali.
Homo naledi. Just think of...
No, can we just say about that moment where he corrected your pronunciation by getting the word completely wrong? Can we all just enjoy that for a second?
It's impossible to say it. I was probably
without doing
the milady.
Give it its full name. It's Homo naledi no cry.
The reason I love this story is so they found a few bodies from 100 years apart in a cave. This guy, this idiot.
That's a Homo naledi. The find was announced last Thursday by the South African University of the Witwatersrand, National Geographic and the UK science journal eLife. That is a spooky cover of the National Geographic, yes.
Yeah, they have your hooded eyes there.
But the thing is, this is all...
I would find it very hard to believe if the production staff of the show had not done a photograph of that and made it look like you.
I would like to think that. I am not doing the face.
Well, listen, I'll tell you one thing. I am not getting on that megabus.
Now that, I think, is a thing.
I think we know where this is going now, don't we?
Yeah, there we go. Wow.
You look the happiest out of all 3.
How did they die? Do you know how they died?
No, I
They were
don't know.
shot by an American dentist.
Now, that is too soon.
Yeah. OK, at the end of that round, the points go to Ed, Sarah and Andy. Now we come to scenes we'd like to see. So if everyone can make their way over to the performance area, I'll read out this week's topics, then we'll see what our panelists can come up with. OK, here we go. The first subject is rejected exam questions.
History. Did I delete it?
If cycling 10 miles a day uses up 400 calories, explain why Boris Johnson is still a fat bastard.
If the sun is 93 million miles away, how can that cost £32 in an Uber?
Where is Greece? Is it A, the southern Mediterranean, or B, up shit creek?
What does the French phrase déjà vu literally translate as?
Using examples of Michelangelo's work, write 500 words on why he was the best turtle.
What does the French phrase déjà vu literally translate as?
Question A. Media studies. Is it a real subject? Question B. Is it...
Using a compass and ruler, draw perfect cock and balls.
Is this a rhetorical question?
You may now commence your anal sex exam. Please turn over.
Explain how UKIP became a major force in British politics without using the word wanker.
If Jay-Z is unfortunate enough to have a problem with a bitch, how many problems does Jay-Z now have?
Aggravated violence, question 1. Why might you use a bit of rubber hosepipe? No marks.
What colour is this dress? White and gold or black and blue? Discuss.
If a train leaves a station at the correct time and arrives at its destination at the correct time, how cool would that be?
Chemistry. Me, you. Is there any?
OK, the next topic is unlikely things to say when running for US president.
I'm Hillary Clinton, and if you elect me the first female president of the United States, I promise you that on my first day in the White House, I will hire a very attractive male intern. He will be on his knees, not having sexual relations with me all day. Hashtag payback, hashtag long game.
I want to go to Washington. Why? I want to see what colour the White House is.
No, we can't!
The name Clinton is in the DNA of the White House. In fact, the DNA of Clinton are on the walls of the White House.
I know the value of family because I sold one of my children to pay for this campaign.
As president, I will welcome immigrants, because the White House is massive and it's not going to clean itself.
I will govern for all of this country, not just the metropolitan cities on the coast, but also you cousin shaggers down south.
I would like to introduce you to my new Homeland Security advisor. Say hi, Lamb Chop.
Hi.
Come on, of course I'm the guy to succeed Obama. You know what they say? Once you go black.
If you elect me America's first colourblind president, I will do everything I can to uphold the values of the brown, white and green.
I would now like to talk to you people in a language of my own devising.
I want to put more boots on the ground in Afghanistan, and also 2 more branches of Paper Chase.
What you must remember is the people we need to convince are the great American people. And most of them are as thick as pig shit.
I'd like to apologise for Mr. Trump, which is what I say when I've just farted in bed.
When I was little, I did not plan to be President of the United States. This is more like a holding job until I get to rule a good country.
I am American through and through. Cut me, and I will shoot you in the face.
I wish to have no secrets in this campaign. I wish to be completely open, and it is done. That is why I'm going to start that again, because I fucked that up.
We Republicans want to reach out to all Americans. Blacks, whites, Chinese-y-looking ones.
I want to have no secrets in this campaign, and that is why I have gathered you here tonight to tell you I shot JFK. Okay, give that round of applause to Ed, Sarah and Andy. And that's the end of the show. This week's winners are Nathan Caton, Hugh Dennis and Ed Byrne. Commiserations to Andy Parsons, Sarah Pascoe and Ed Gamble. Thanks for watching. I'm Dara Breen. Good night.